fashion workshop of how to turn a flat piece of paper into a paper origami shirt in order to help you visualize your designs, whether they're illustrations or whatever, on fabric as a garment. So basically what you need is a square of paper. Now you can either get some pre-cut origami pieces of paper, or you can use a plain A4 sheet of paper. And the thing is, a simple technique of how to turn your A4 sheet of paper, which is of course a rectangle, into a square is as follows. You fold it corner to the side, and that'll give you this excess piece, and then again you fold it once more, fold it back on itself, so that you line up the edge with the bottom edge of the piece that you folded across. And then once you've done that, you will have a piece of paper that looks like this. So what you want to do then is take this and get rid of the rectangle on the edge. So you can either do that with a pair of scissors, a guillotine, or of course you can just tear it if you fold it. Press the seam and then fold it back on itself. And then if you grab a ruler, and then, well, I'm using the pattern master, but it doesn't matter. Grab your ruler, you can then apply pressure and rip along that fold seam. Obviously, scissors or guillotine, whatever, would be the neatest option, but for speed, I'll just quickly show you like that. So then you want to fold your square, obviously ignore the frills, fold your square, flat again, press along the seam that you've just pressed to try and get rid of that as much as possible, because you don't want that in your actual shirt. And then you take the piece, you fold it in half, and once you've folded it in half, you have a piece like this, and then you open it flat again, and then you fold the two sides into your center fold, like so. And once you've got these two in the center, you are on your way to making your origami shirt. So then you've got your piece like this, it's like a cupboard door, and then you turn the piece over so that your folds are on the table. You fold the top edge back on itself like this, and this is going to be your collar. So then you have a piece of paper like this with the folded top edge, and then you flip the paper over and you fold the two outside seams to the center fold and press. Now I'm going very quickly because I'll go over this a few times with different papers and discuss as I go along, and then I will also include some instructions in the bio of how to do this. But yes, as you'll see, you then have a piece which has the fold on both sides at the top, and then it's folded in and then folded in again. And then from there, you go to the bottom of the shirt and you you take the center fold and you fold out a little bit, however much you want, and make sure that it's nice and symmetrical on both sides. Fold that out, and they're going to be your sleeves of your shirt. And then, just so you can envision it, that's going to fold up like that. So then you go back to the top of the shirt, and you, you go back to the top of the shirt and fold in the top corners so that they meet at the center point. This is to give yourself the collar part and the shoulders of the shirt. So then you're left with something like this. and then you flip it over again and fold up to the center, and then line it up so that the top of the collar here and here peaks over the top of the shoulders, and there you have a very basic origami shirt. Now I've just done a simple yellow one, and a fun thing that I like to do is then you get your pen, can be whatever colour, and you can go as fancy as you like, but you get your pen onto the shirt, you then draw your button stand, again messy as anything, just for speed purposes, draw your buttons on, and then you have a physical visualization of a short sleeve shirt to help you imagine what your designs might look like on paper. Now you can be as fancy as you want, you can add in some details, let's add a yoke in there, and then maybe let's add some little stitching on the collar, and then it is looking even more like a shirt than ever. Very cute, very simple, nice and fun. Now you might be saying, but Dom, this doesn't show me any of my own designs turned into a shirt, but I say don't get ahead of yourself. Right, so you take your piece of paper and you turn it over and you put a fold down the middle, taking it from side to side, making sure that the edges are nice and lined up, and then you press a fold down the middle. And then you open it up, press it flat, not too much, just open it up, and then you fold one side into the middle, like so, and then you spin it round, and then you fold the other side into the middle, like so. And then you flip it over so that the folds are on the table facing down, and then you fold about 1 centimetre back. Obviously this depends on the size of your paper, but you fold a small bit back, that is going to make the collar shape. And then you flip it over again, and then you fold the side into the middle once more, like so, and then you spin it round, and you fold the side into the middle, like so, and then you are left with a shape such as this, with folded in again, flipped over, and folded in again. And then you create the sleeves, so you go to this end, the end without the collar, you go there, and then you fold a triangle shape out from the bit that you folded inside, and then that's one sleeve, and then you turn it round, make it nice and symmetrical, and then fold it out again. And you want to make sure that the sleeve itself comes up to the corner of the paper, so that you get a nice large sleeve shape. Make sure it's nice and sharp, and then that is going to eventually flip over and fold up like that, so then that creates the body part of the shirt. So then you have, before you flipped it over, obviously I was just demonstrating, so then you have it that side down, fold it to the center, press it, fold it to the center, and then you flip it over and you fold it up like so, so that you've got a fold down here, and then you nip it all in, make sure that the folds are nice and sharp, and then there you have your popped collar, and you've got your lovely little shirt. And then you get your pen, whatever type of pen you like, And then draw on the button stand. Draw on the button stand. Add in the buttons. Add in the pocket. And then the hems on the shirt. Sleeves, sorry. That's an idea. It's something that I don't normally do, but let's add a hem. Chum, chum, chum. And then you can add your stitching on the collar. Bit of top stitching, because we're fancy. And then you add your top stitching. And there you have it. Very cute. Basically, what you want to do is on your piece of paper, before you turn it into a shirt, whether it is a printout of one of your digital drawings or a printout of your photograph or even a piece of newspaper, you get your piece of paper with your design on it, whatever your design may be. Here I've got some cactuses, I've got some roses, or some flowers, or some leaves. And again, once you've got your design on the paper, you then begin your folding process. Now it is important to think about, the way that it folds, you want your designs to be going the right way. So when you fold it and then fold it again to the center, and you get to this stage of when you're adding in the collar, you actually want to add the collar to the bottom end of your design so that it looks like your design is upside down, because then when it comes to, so as I say, you fold into the center and then fold into the center again, but then you want the collar on the bottom, because so that your designs are running down the piece of paper, because when you do your folds, it's going to flip over. So then fold to the center again. Probably have some music, some nice do 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 as I'm doing this, to give you a nice, probably sped up little so and so. So there you have it, folded into the center again, and then you give it your sleeves. And you give it your sleeves, one on each side, nice and symmetrical. And then you flip it over again, and you create your collar, and you fold the triangle on the back, and then you fold the corner in again. So then you've got your collar, and then you fold it up like this, and then, as I say, you want to make sure that your collar is overlapping, and you can sort of flick them up a little bit so that you're popping the collar as you might like to do. And then, as I say, your upside down design, because of the way we've folded it, now is going the right way up the garment. And then again, fun part as always, make sure you've pressed those seams nice and strong, and then draw on your button stand, and maybe we'll have 2 pockets on this one, and then we might even have some little rectangles for waist pockets. They would be just as little jets, so that you can slip your hands in at the waist there. And then again, buttons, just a few dots. Now you can get as fancy as you like when you're doing this. You can use different colour pens, you can get fancy and do different colour buttons. And obviously, say if you used an A3 piece of paper cut down into a square, then you're going to get a bigger shirt, which leaves you more room to do more details. So then let's have the turn-ups on the sleeves as well, and then there you have it, a very cute shirt with some leaves on it. Now let's take it to a floral shirt. This is going to be a fun one, and I'm going to show you how to make a slightly wider cropped shirt. Now it's the exact same process, but basically you just skip a step, So again, you fold to the center, lining up side to side, and you press that seam in, and then you fold it flat, and you go outer edge to center, and then you go outer edge to center, and then you make sure they're nice and neat, sharp folds, and then you've got your cupboard doors again. Press that flat, make sure it's all nice and neat. And then, since this is a repeating pattern that doesn't actually have any direction, it doesn't matter which end I put the collar on, but I think maybe I'd like a petal on the collar, so I'm gonna have this end folded back, so then I'll fold that back. And then rather than added in the extra fold to the center to make it a thin, long shirt, you don't bother with that technique, so you flip it straight over and you just add in the sleeves. So then you take it from the tip of the rectangle and fold out, press that seam, and then you take it from the tip of the rectangle, you fold it out and press that seam. So then you've got your open shirt, and then you flip it round. Well, you wouldn't actually flip it around, sorry, I just held it up to the camera. And then you press in so that this time it's on the same side, and you press in again on the other side to create the other side of your collar, so that you create a new collar, and then you've got it all on the same side, and you fold up, and then once again make sure that the tip edge of the collar, the little bit here, is poking over the top of your shirt body, and you can push that right up, fold the hem, and there you have a square, a much more boxy shape. And I like to imagine these as a crop shirt, or if you were going to then stick it in your sketchbook, you could draw your trousers and just have it as a high-waisted pair of trousers with the shirt tucked in. And once again, as I say, the most fun part is adding in all the details. Today, this one, I might add a zip on it. Maybe it's a jacket rather than a shirt. So you draw your zip, draw a little zip opening, a few lines for the zip teeth, because obviously it's a zipped shirt. And then I might just have some patch pockets, but this time with buttoned over pocket flaps. And this is a very quick fire way to help you visualize the details on top of your shirt, as well as visualizing your fabric, your designs as fabric. And it's a lot of fun, really. That's the main thing about it. So there we have it. Little shirt with some patch pockets on the chest with some pocket flaps. You've got the turn up hems, and then we've got a zip down the center. Let's try something different. So I'll take this is just a print out of a front cover of a Fashion for Fabric book all about fabric swatches. So I really like the pink and I really like the font, and I was just interested to see how this might apply to a shirt. So as I said at the start of the video, you fold it over, corner to the side, and then you press the seam in, the fold in, sorry, all the way across, and then you fold it back on itself, lining up that line with the bottom edge. Press across, and then for speed I'm going to use the ruler technique again, and then you press it to make sure it's a nice sharp fold. Grab your ruler, and then you just tear the fabric. I'm getting ahead of myself. Tear the paper off, and then you've got your triangle. Fold it flat, press the seam out of it, flip it over, press that seam flat again, flip it over, and you go side to side. And you press that flat, and then you go side to center, and then press that flat, nice and sharp, and then you go side to center. Once again, creating those cupboard doors. I say cupboard, it's more like a wardrobe, isn't it? But you've got to imagine that all your lovely shirts are hanging inside the cupboard. You press it flat, and then, as I said again, you flip it over, have it the wrong way up, because when we fold it again, it's going to end up the right way up, and you press it across. And there you have the collar, and then flip it over. I'm going to do a skinny long shirt this time rather than the boxy one. So then you fold it outside in to the center again, and then you've got your thinner body, longer thinner body, and I do it on both sides, outside to the center, press it again, and then you go to the top and you press the sleeve into place. Now, I would much rather be showing you how to make an actual shirt, and if you are interested in learning that, please feel free to fire me a message. But I wanted to think of a fun fashion workshop that would need as little material as possible. I didn't want to just show you how to do an illustration, because at the end of the day, you already can figure that out, and we'll talk about that on a different day. This is just a bit of fun, bit of silliness. So then you go back to there and you fold in corner to the center and then corner to the center. But if you would like to learn how to make a proper shirt, as I say, fire me a message and I'm happy to do a little tutorial specifically for you. And then once we've done that, we could maybe talk about actually turning your designs into shirts. If I've got anyone who's interested in actually making this a reality, we could talk about getting some fabrics made up and turned into shirts. So again, I'm keen to do anything, just get in touch. We could then maybe sell a one-off or a couple on your website, on my website, which is dreaddex.com. And yeah, I'm all about collaborations. So yeah, there you've got your funky pink shirt, which has the text, some sleeves, very cute. It's folded, but because this paper is a bit stiffer, you've really got to press those seams in there, and you can do that just with your thumbnail and just press across there and press across there, and then you pop the colour. It's important to pop your colour, just got to stay cool. Pop that colour, and now we're cooking on gas. And then you press the seam on the back, press the seam on the back, make sure that you don't press the collar though, and then you do the same on the other side, press the seam on the back. And now we've got a cute pink shirt which has some of those big lovely letters across it. It's just an experimentation. Obviously you don't know how the size of your imagery is going to affect and where it's going to land on the shirt, but that'll come with practice, and as I say, experimentation and having fun with it. Obviously this, because it was a printout, had the border of the printer, which is actually, I think, outlined and created a real nice detail, which could be nice to include within a shirt. You could actually have this as two separate fabrics and stitch that across the top of the sleeve, across the top of the shoulders, and across the top of the sleeve, which would be a fancy thing called TR cutting, but we'll talk about that in a different session, I'm sure. But yeah, then it's the fun bit. You've got the shirt, and then you add in your button stand. Now on this one, I might go so far to say that there's a concealed button stand and not put any of the buttons because they're hidden behind a layer of fabric. And then I might have a patch pocket that has a zip, so it's going to be a rectangle, and then I'm going to put the head of the zip and a few of the zip teeth, and then obviously you draw in. You don't have to draw in any of these things, but I just like to because I think it makes it look that bit much more like an actual shirt and helps you visualize it as how it might be. So there you have it. It's got your pocket, your concealed button stand, your hems on the sleeve, and then your collar nicely popped. Pop that collar and make sure if you've got any questions or anything else you'd like to ask, please fire them over. Thank you for tuning in.